saw this guy the other night. Oh, what was his name? Thackeray. I saw him at Jazz Bones. Never been to Jazz Bones before, and it was really fun. And this guy is this blues artist. He's probably from Texas or something. Had a bit of a twang. And he was astounding. But, you know, the guy's whole body was flat. You know, he was just like, cool. But his hands played this blues guitar like it was astounding. I mean, he was an artist, and we were talking about it, and I said, you know, it's as if he has reserved all of his life energy to put into those hands to play that music for us tonight. It was fantastic. So, you know, we look for the life force, don't we? I mean, we are attracted to the life force being expressed. So all of us want to be in that life force. All of us want to be learning something new, because learning is the mark of a spiritual seeker and student. In hospice work, at the end of life, bodies get tired. You might recall, you know, the video we saw a couple weeks ago with Gladys, the 87-year-old that Jennifer just mentioned, the woman with dementia. Her body was really old and tired. But as we watched her come out of the fog and connect with the therapist, we watched her aliveness. We saw her life force, right? When she said, in his hands. Remember when she was singing, he's got the whole world in his hands. We watched her soul come out and connect for just a few moments. I just read this quote that resonated with me, and it's relevant to Gladys and to us today. The soul is most visible when times are tough, when unusual challenges are being faced, when there are difficult choices to be made. The soul is the thing you don't lose, no matter how trying the times may be and no matter the price. That was written by the president of my alma mater, CERNI, Ron Thomas. The soul is the thing that you don't lose, no matter what the outer conditions, no matter the circumstances, no matter how confusing or frightening. The soul is at our core, giving us strength and confidence, encouraging us not to be bullied by fear. So even when bodies aren't so useful anymore, this is a wonderful thing to remember. The soul is the thing you don't lose. You are more than this body. And it's a comforting, wonderful thing to share with somebody you know and love whose body is not cooperating so much anymore. The soul is the thing you don't lose, and it's the soul that is the place that we go home to after a hard day of spiritual seeking and learning. This idea of breaking out, of dispensing with the way it's been and forging into new territory, it's been going on since the very beginning of time. I mean, we could come up with a long list. We could probably fill these walls with lists of people who have struck out into new territory. If we look back over our own lifetimes, we can all document incredible accomplishments that at one time were thought to be impossible. But somebody believed that they could do it. Somebody believed it. And that's why it happened. My earliest notions of the impossibles were the 60s with protest against the war. I mean, imagine those young people disagreeing. Or the human rights marchers in Alabama. They did it. Imagine that. Imagine them bucking the way it is. Well, old assumptions were not working for people, and they were challenged. Life changed because of those challenges. Today, there are lots of assumptions about many conditions, assumptions about hunger, assumptions about limited resources for health care, limited housing, not enough money. There is debt, there is personal debt, there is national debt, there is world debt, and there is loneliness in a big way. Who, my friends, will be the groundbreakers? What are the impossibilities that will be challenged? Madeline L'Engle called this the glorious impossible. We will not watch these people on YouTube today, but I want to acquaint you with several amazing, fearless groundbreakers who released limited thinking about what's true and stepped out in strength and in faith. First, I'd like you to meet Muhammad Yunus, and some of you may know that name, a Bangladeshi economist and banker who founded the Grameen Bank. You've heard of him. An incredible man. He saw the poverty in Bangladesh and the women who attempted to create small groups, small businesses, small cottage industries with very little resources. I mean, no money, dressed in rags, houses falling apart. They're trying to make bamboo baskets, and it costs $27 for materials. So people would loan them money, but then, charge them incredible interest, and they wouldn't have any money for themselves. Banks wouldn't collaborate. So Yunus started his own bank, the Grameen Bank, with a 99% success rate in repayment. He is credited with being the founder of microcredit, and he won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006. Next, I'd like you to meet Maggie Barankitse. Whew. She's from Burundi. Maggie was employed by the church, I think the Catholic Church. She worked for the bishop, and she witnessed the killing of lots and lots of people right before her eyes. They tied her up and made her witness killing of Tutsis and Hutus. She stayed with the bodies of these people who were killed and risked her own safety by insisting that each body be buried, and she did it herself. She founded Maison Shalom, which means house of peace, so that the children who were orphaned by these horrible circumstances would not live in orphanages. They live in small group homes, and there are 500 of them. Her work has touched thousands of children, and in 2008, she received the Opus Prize, a $1 million gift that she will use for the children. I saw her speak last year up in Seattle, and this is what she said. I watched a clip of her last night and just wept. She said, "I am a Christian, and I know our human vocation is to love. We were born to say no to war and yes to their living, yes to love. I believe in dignity. Love has made me an inventor, and evil will never take away the last hope." Mohammed and Maggie are two incredibly strong, compassionate, intelligent, and brave people who heard the call and said, "Yes, here I am." They listened and they answered. They are inspired. We are inspired by their lives, their courage. And many of us may not be ready for this kind of adventure and commitment, but we are called to do what we can from where we sit today and from the gifts that we have right now. In September, a Seattle woman who owns a marketing firm stepped out of the consumer box, the one that says, "Buy me," the one that says we can fix anything if we take out our credit card and buy something. And her name is Sally, and she's head of Jones for clothing. So she recently invited a group of women to join her in a one-year diet. And they are calling it the Great American Apparel Diet. No clothing for a year. For heaven's sake, most of us have more than we need, do we not? So how many black sweaters do you need this winter? What she said is she wanted to become more aware of the automatic pilot within, to the voices in her head that were driven by the media and advertising and colors and whatever it is that grabs us. Last night I joined the Great American Apparel Diet for 1 year. 1 year without buying clothes, but shoes and accessories don't count, so. Who will be the ones to tackle food for every belly and a warm bed for every body? Who will challenge the culture of inequity in health care? Who will break ground? God bless you.